Hey, AP Computer Science. We are going to be looking at not area of radius, there we go, distance. Dist formula is, I guess, what I called it. So the dist formula is going to be calculating the distance between 2 points, which requires an x and a y coordinate for each point. And we're going to get out the old Math 10 textbook, or 9, or I'm not sure when they teach it now, to be honest. So we're going to just find out what that formula is if you forgot what it is. So here we go. Check out this very similar, right? Oh, look, import the scanner. Here's our class. Inside our class, here's our main method, and thus begins our program, starting with declaring variables. Here's our good old reliable scanner named SC. If you prefer naming it something else, please go ahead. We have doubles going all over the place. We have x1, y1 for our first point. We have x2 and y2 for our second point. And then the ultimate answer to this riddle is going to be stored within the dist variable. And we're just initializing them all to 0 to begin with. We go into the user input. So there's a lot of user input to do for this because by golly, there's like 4 numbers we need to get to do this calculation. So I'm doing it. I'll just mention one interesting thing. There is print line, ln. That means whatever it prints gets printed, and then at the end, the enter button gets pressed, so it goes to the next line. There's also just good old print. That's not with an ln at the end, and so what happens here is it prints enter the x coordinate of point 1, and then it doesn't press enter. When you then type in sc next double, the answer will go on the end, and when you press enter, it'll go to the next line, ready for the next prompt. So this is kind of an old-fashioned thing. I don't know if anyone cares too much. Like if you put a print line, would it be a big deal? It's not, but if you want some authentic 1960s, 70s, 80s programming, then the prompt always goes here, and then the answer's got to go on the end here. Can't go on the next line. So that's why I use print and not print line for the specific prompts. Again, nobody will lose marks for not doing that. But you will gain my respect for doing it. Absolutely. do check that out. So that's me getting the user input. Yeah, pretty good. Next, we do our calculation. It's an ugly calculation, and I didn't bother using the math.pow, sorry. You know, you could use it. You definitely could have used it. It would have been great, but I just am too lazy, and I just use multiplication, which is fine because we're just squaring things. So the distance formula basically is you take the square root of the sum of the squares of or the difference of the squares, I should say, of the x coordinates and the y coordinates. So it's like x2 minus x1 squared, y2 minus y1 squared. Add them together and square root it. It's basically the solving for a particular side in a Pythagorean theorem kind of situation in a right triangle. So you've all done this before, but that's the formula, and that's how I coded it up myself. I think the use of parentheses and multiplication, makes that especially work out well. And then the very end. Oh, pardon. Oh, I can't see to get through a video without yawning. Sorry. It's pretty late, I guess. So the distance between these 2 points is blah, blah, blah. And I just print out distance. So that's the answer for that question. I hope that you had some success with this and are enjoying these exercises. I'll show you the answer to the next one as well. Okay, thanks everybody.